Yo, what's up, you guys? It's your awesome dude 900 here, and today I am going to be doing a game review. Yes, this is going to be my first game review on this channel. Of what game, you may ask? Ben 10 for the Nintendo Switch. Now, my kind of experience with Ben 10 has been, I watched it a lot as a kid. I think when I was a kid, it was the original Ben 10. There was this kid that always came by my street. I used to play outside a lot. I didn't play games a lot as a kid, if you guys didn't know that. So, yeah, there was this kid that came by a lot on my street, and he had this really cool Ben 10 watch. And I was, like, obsessed with it at that time. So, yeah, the watch that he uses to switch between all 10 aliens. Yeah, let's talk about the actual game now instead of talking about my experience with Ben 10. I saw a couple episodes of the show as a kid, but I didn't see many. I haven't seen any of this new show, this reboot that I played the game off of. But, the game is, it is okay. I'm going to be, judging this game off of 5 factors: story, gameplay, graphics, controls, and bosses. So, yeah, let's start off with the story of this game. Now, Ben 10 is a basic platformer beat 'em up. The story is kind of hard to keep track of because it's like 3 different stories. Like every time you fight a boss, another story comes around, and story is kind of non-existent in this game, really. Basically, the first one is you fight this guy named Zombozo who's trying to do something with the city, like make them happy or something like that, and make them happy all the time. Some kind of happy bomb that he's trying to put on the city. I don't know. Second one is your uncle. I think his name is Ben. Uncle Ben. No, this is not Spider-Man. And your cousin, I think she is. Gwen, I think her name is. If I remember correctly, it's Gwen. They both get captured by this Queen Bee, who is the host of this really weird game show. So basically you go on the game show and you fight her. And the last boss is this weather bot. These weather bot guys kind of remind me of the Krang from the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot, the one that just ended, which, from what I've seen from this game, the Krang are just a better version of these guys. These guys are just a rip-off of the Krang. But, yeah, that's kind of the story of this game. It kind of switches off between all 3 of those stories. Like, you fight Zombozo, then you move on to the Queen Bee story, you fight her, then you move on to the Weatherbot story, you fight it, and it's split between, like, there's 3 levels in each of them. So, overall, it's 9 levels of gameplay, which took me about 2 hours to beat, guys. 2 hours. Not even 1 day. We're going to be talking about that later in gameplay, but extremely easy. I'll talk about it later on. Story, extremely simple. Not this game's strong suit. So yeah, that's the story. Let's move on to the gameplay. Now, the gameplay in this game. Extremely easy. I mean, like, I didn't even have to use... The only reason I used the power-up is just because I wanted to get past, like, these hordes of enemies that ran towards you, and I was, like, bored of fighting these enemies. It's like, there's horde after horde after horde after horde, and then you move forward, and then there's another horde of enemies, and it's like, dude, and all these enemies in this game are just, like, basic enemies. They all fight you the same way. There's different variations of them. Like the queen bee has different minions than Zombozo, but don't be fooled. They all fight you the same way. You can beat them the same way. Just button mash through the game. Even the bosses. I mean, the bosses obviously are a little bit more complicated than that, but basically, they have a weak, except for the final boss, they have a weak point, or a time when they're vulnerable, and then you can button mash and kill them. And it only takes like 2 or 3 times before you can kill them for good. As you progress through the game, you get different aliens. I think one of them is Forearms. One of my favorite ones to use was Accelerate when I got him, because he's fast. You can get through the game pretty quickly with him. But yeah, you gain more aliens, and each alien has like a different ability that they can use to get you past obstacles. That's what I do like about this game. The aliens do serve a purpose. It's just not like, hey, here's a power-up. And then they serve a purpose when you get them, but afterward, it's basically like, use any alien you want. I think I used the little guy a couple times. I forget the little guy's name, darn it. If you guys know, like, the smallest little alien that Ben 10 has, leave it in the comments down below. I'm really interested to know his name. But I think I used him a couple times. I think I used Forearms in the last battle. But other than that, you can basically use any alien you want throughout the game. Like I said, button mash. Pretty easy to get through. Yeah, we got through the gameplay. Let's move on to the graphics. Now, the graphics in this game, I mean, it lagged a couple times. It lagged a few times on me. But other than that, it's a good game. It's a good game graphics-wise. Didn't really see any pixels or anything like that. But that lag, you just got to get through that lag, man, on that game. And there were a couple times it froze on me when I had to, like, exit the game and go back in and be like, really? And then there's no checkpoints in this game, so basically you just have to start from the beginning of the level. But the levels are extremely short, so you can get through them fairly easy. So yeah, what else is there? Bosses in this game, as I've said, completely easy. There is Zombozo, where he is like on top of some kind of platform and like throws down obstacles at you. It's basically Oogie Boogie from Kingdom Hearts. He reminded me a lot of Oogie Boogie from Kingdom Hearts, but except Oogie Boogie was actually a pretty good boss. On the other hand, Zombozo is this complete, he's just nothing. Like, you can get through him no trouble whatsoever. I don't think I died with any of these bosses once. And next one was Queen Bee. It was basically the same thing. She stood on top of a platform, threw down enemies and obstacles for you, and then she has a vulnerable point, obviously, when she comes down, and then you hit her when she's vulnerable. The only boss that I not really had a challenge with, but could kind of see someone have a challenge with, is the final boss. It's a really cool final boss. You get to utilize different aliens, but the other two bosses are just lame. You could basically use any alien you want and button mash your way through it. So, yeah, Ben 10 overall. I know I talked a lot of trash about it, but I mean, it's a fun game for a pastime to get through. But if you're looking for like a quality game, I would look for some other games on the Nintendo Switch. Me personally, I like Crash Bandicoot. That's my favorite game on the Nintendo Switch, the N. Sane Trilogy, which is what I am going to be reviewing next. Crash Bandicoot 1, and then Crash Bandicoot. I'm going to be reviewing not the N. Sane Trilogy as a whole, but each game individually. Then I might review it as a whole. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this first game review. Ben 10, 4, I'm going to say 4 out of 10, a little bit below average. Still a very fun pastime, but just not challenging whatsoever. So yeah, if you guys have played Ben 10 or any of the other Ben 10 games, let me know what you think down below, and let me know your favorite Ben 10 alien. Mine would have to be Accelerate. Accelerate because I just really like the design, and he was the alien that I utilized most in this game. So yeah, I also really like Four Arms and Diamond Head. I'm a sucker for like buff and beefy when it comes to like when it comes to video games, because usually you can get through enemies faster. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below, and next time be ready for my Crash Bandicoot game review, which is probably going to be a lot better than this game. So yeah, this is your Awesome Dude 900 saying peace out. Have an awesome day, guys.